Good afternoon, everybody. I hope we're all having an absolutely phenomenal weekend, morning, evening, whatever time you're watching this at. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. Just a quick little update on me to begin with. We are currently in Tesco car park. I've just almost been took out by a big BMW M6, which is not the most ideal thing on the planet. However, a little update on me. We are 6 days out from the NPC Sweden, which we're not technically peaking for 100%, but we are going to do a little switch up from what we were planning on doing. So we were just planning on running a couple of low days into a couple of high days, which ultimately is still similar to what we are doing. However, we're going to kind of manipulate a couple of things, which I'll take you over by the back end of the week. But right now we are on day 1 of 3 of my depletion. So food is very low, carbohydrates very low, and we're on the way to the gym right now. The only thing that's going through my mind is I'm probably not going to be able to get that much of a pump whatsoever. However, that is really where we're at. We woke up at a new low this morning of 190 and a quarter on the scales. This video is going to be around the actual realities, some home truths, some harsh truths regarding getting shredded as a natural bodybuilder. And the first topic that I want to cover, which we're going to cover on the way to the gym right here very quickly because we're around the corner from the gym, is it takes a lot longer than what you think. We cannot get shredded inside out peeled in 8 weeks. It's simply just not possible. Even 12 weeks, even 16 weeks, depending on your starting position, you could maybe do it in 16 weeks, but you would have to be really lean in turn your prep. Now, the reason behind this is because we have to take on board our only tool that we've got, aside from potentially using something like a Yohimbine fat burner or even something like Fever 40 from HR Labs, in which you still need a lot of time. We've got cardio to utilise, we've got steps to utilise, but we really only have food. We only have food. So when you think about it, we can really only get lean by gradually tapering down food in order to be able to hold on to all of our muscle tissue. The last thing that we ever want is to lose the muscle tissue that we've just spent a whole load of time in the off-season gaining. So this is why it takes 24 to 30 weeks to be able to actually drop down that body fat gradually on a weekly basis, keep your food as high as possible, and hold on to all of the muscle that you have just built. The second that you start ramping things up so hard, cutting all the food off, doing loads of cardio, doing loads of steps, one, your body's going to stop responding, so you're not going to really get any response out of your body whatsoever, when the goal should always be to do the least amount and get the most from it. Your body's going to go into survival mode, so obviously, especially if you've taken off the body fat and then you're still trying to push it really, really, really hard, your body's just going to start eating into all that muscle. And that is, again, the last thing that you want. It's not a dieting competition, guys. It's a bodybuilding competition, and you want to be able to turn up looking like a bodybuilder with inside out peeled condition, but fullness, a load of muscle. That is what we want. So that's going to be the first main part of it. It takes a lot longer than you think. You can be lean, but you might not be stage lean. In fact, you're probably not stage lean. We're in for push today, depletion day number 1. So we'll see how it goes. Can't be promising any world records or anything like that, but we're going to get in, we're going to get the job done. I've actually not had any carbohydrates yet today, which is very different for me. But we'll just see how it goes. Now, as always, guys, please do not forget to drop the video a like for me. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. We're going to keep this content rolling out all the way throughout this season and, of course, into the off-season. So if there's anything you guys would like to see, let me know in the comment section down below. But let's just head to Ultraflex. First up, lateral delts and a pec deck, just to be able to get a bit more stability and a bit more support built up around my press that I'm going to begin with. So I'm not taking these to all out failure, as you would have seen on the single arm side lateral machine as well. Didn't take it to failure, just enough blood in around that area. This takes me on to my second initial main thing whenever it comes to getting shredded. So you're going to get to a point where you're just never going to be full. you're never going to be full. You're going to eat and eat and eat. You're going to eat all your meals. And after each and every single meal, you're going to be ready for that next one. The satisfaction part of feeling full is just going to become non-existent. And that's definitely something that you just have to be willing to adapt to. It's a little bit harder to begin with, especially if you are naturally a hungrier person who can eat a lot of food. The more time you can give yourself, the more food you can eat. The more food you can eat, the less chance that you're going to be as hungry. The more aggressive you hit it, the lower your calories are going to have to be. And I always recommend, and I'm a big massive advocate of giving that little bit more time just to be able to go through the weeks with smaller drop-offs, and then it means that you can keep your food as high as possible all the way through till the end and still drop off enough body fat to get inside out peeled, but you never have to face that really hungry part from having to drop your food super low. So again, give yourself the time, but always be prepared to just never have that satisfaction of feeling full. Okay. Time lapse these first initial few warm-up sets. A quick one is social occasions. You can most definitely still go out, but when it comes to food, comes to alcohol, that's got to be cut out, guys. That's got to be a no-no, unfortunately. It's one of them things. But again, like I say, you've just got to embrace it, and you have to be willing to be able to cut all of that stuff out without a problem when the goal is to get absolutely shredded. Next up, and last and final warm-up for me, or last and final feeler anyway. I've not touched 3 plates in I don't know how long. I've not done Smith press in I don't know how long. We just literally had to wait like 15 minutes, which I normally would never do. However, I was just so set up to do Smith press today, so I deliberately waited on it. We've done obviously a little bit of extra pec deck and side lateral work just to make sure that I'm super warm, but last feeler on there, 3 plates actually felt alright. So I'm going to send that for a working set, hopefully get a minimum of a good 6 reps. As we know, obviously energy is most definitely going to drop down, and you will probably find that you'll get to a point where you'll start flagging by the back end of the day. It's just totally natural. We have to take on board that whenever you're getting deeper into prep, the energy levels are dropping, the body fat's getting lower and lower and lower, you are getting more shredded. The energy is going to drop off, and especially if you've got a normal working job, especially if you're active from when you get up first thing in the morning till later on in the day, it's just going to become a thing where your energy levels will get even worse, and you will probably find that you will just simply become less present to things. And again, like I say, guys, this is totally natural, this is totally normal. It's one of them things that we have to take on board. No matter whether you're an assisted athlete or a natural athlete, your energy levels are going to get really low, and you're going to get to that point where you pretty much just start flagging by the back end of the day. I know for me anyway, gets to around 3 p.m, 4 p.m, and I am absolutely, I'm done. I am bugger, I am over, I am out. Do not try and get me to do that much after 3 p.m, because my energy levels just are, the tank's pretty much empty. And again, like I say, guys, it's something to expect, something to just embrace. And this is what you will find here whenever it comes to getting really lean. You've just got to learn to embrace the absolute most out of it. So off of the back of that last one on not being present, your attention span will become very low. Something to expect, again, as the energy gets lower, you naturally become less present in absolutely everything, and your attention span to pretty much everything becomes zero. So this is where I would always suggest to try and be as productive as you possibly can be, as early in the day as you possibly can be, because that's where your attention's going to be a lot more fuller in many ways. It's going to be there. You're going to feel more present in things earlier on in the day, whilst you've got that extra energy, that is. So just expect that. And the unfortunate part is sometimes other people can take a little bit of a hit from that as well. So as your attention span becomes lower, people can take a hit because they might be talking to you, telling you about something. You might have to go somewhere. You might have to even go to a social occasion, which again is all good. You can still attend these sort of things when you're getting inside out peeled, but you have to just be aware of. And sometimes you also have to be in the position of knowing that other people might actually get affected. So whenever it comes back to the off season, something that I make sure and tell absolutely every single person that comes off a prep is make sure you give a little bit of time back, because these people who have supported you definitely do deserve that time back. Part of the session where body dysmorphia kicks in, you all of a sudden become self-conscious with how you look, and you don't think you're lean enough. That is something else that will creep up as you get inside out, as you get lean, as you get deeper into prep. This can come really at any point once you start getting leaner, because you can feel flatter, you can feel emptier, and you don't think you're lean enough, when at the end of the day you absolutely are. And it's not until you look back on the off season to prep that you think, shit, I was actually really lean. So body dysmorphia is a big part, and again, it's one of them home truths that not many people speak about, but it's definitely something that is real 1000%. So at the end of the day, if that does occur in your prep, just always be willing to reassure yourself that I am lean, everything's all right. Have a second eye, get them to be able to tell you that you are lean, that you are all right, that you don't have to worry, you don't have to do an extra 20 minutes of cardio. It's one of them things that always does creep up. But the t-shirt's back on. We're going to finish on some weighted dips. Strength Shop have just sent out this brand new dipping belt, which I'm super looking forward to be able to actually get very fucking strong at in the off season. Kiffy West for discount as always. It supports me a lot, guys, so I appreciate it. I'm going to stick a plate on here, see how it feels. First time doing this in forever. So maybe a plate and a half, 2 plates, we'll see how it feels. Felt surprisingly easy, that was actually good. Being a lot lighter is definitely maybe some people's excuse to be weaker, but it's definitely not an excuse to be shit at things like dips and pull-ups, because you do not have anywhere near as much weight to actually pick yourself up. guys, lastly, let's just wrap this one up here on libido levels. Your sex drive is probably going to go from here to probably underneath the floor. It's going to leave the chat, well and truly, so expect that. Especially when getting to really lean levels. Once you, I'm not saying it's going to happen 20 weeks out, but you have to expect it at some point. Again, our testosterone levels drop down really low. This is where the part of it becoming unhealthy kind of comes into play. We have to take on board that it's totally normal once again, and it will come back to normal. This is where whenever you come off the back of a prep, a reverse diet, an actual specific phase specified to allowing your hormones to come back to a much more balanced level, a health phase more than anything else. Just because you're natural doesn't mean that you just all of a sudden don't focus on a health phase. Post-show, very important. So having a plan in place is very important. On top of that one, it fucking hurts. It hurts. Getting to a really lean state hurts, and it hurts a lot. It's not easy. It's not nice to hold on to. This is where the part that I really don't like. I just don't like using it, right? But you're going to suffer at some point. It's one of them words that a lot of people just like to throw out. A lot of people think they suffer. A lot of people don't actually suffer. When you get to a point where you are stage lean, and I'm talking very close to the show, and you might have a couple of shows back to back, or maybe 2, 3, 4 shows, and you've got to hold that condition. As a natural athlete, again, we don't try and come in 100% for the first show. We always make sure we can get better. However, when you are stage lean, it's going to fucking hurt. And that right there, guys, is going to wrap this one up, because I am done my session. I've got a little bit of steps to finish off, but we're almost there. Like I say, depletion day number 1 done. 2 more of these left. NPC Swedish show first, which we're not going to peak 100% for, but then we've got the DFAC Grand Prix 1 week exactly later, which we're going to be entering. Another straight deplete, which is going to be even harder than this one, and we're going to peak 100% for it for sure. But I'll bring you guys along on the journey as always. Hope you've been able to take something from this, enjoy it, something a little bit different, not just me taking you through a silly push session. Anything you guys want to see, drop a comment down below. Don't forget to drop the video a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new about here, and I'll catch up with you all in the next video.